Jake, tell me about Please Stay, the work that you are introducing at Capital University.
It is based on a collection of tweets by hundreds of people around the country. There's an organization called To Write Love on Her Arms, and they work to help with awareness for depression and suicide. And every year they have a campaign. And this past year, the campaign was called Why I Kept Living. And so people could go on to Twitter and they could share reasons that they chose life as they were struggling with their own depression. And so I went onto Twitter and I checked under the hashtag that they had given, and I found these incredible stories and these incredible reasons why people chose to move beyond their struggles. And so I used that as the basis for the text of the work and set it to music. And so that's the piece, Please Stay, that they will be premiering at their concerts.
When you were looking at all these tweets and you were putting the piece together, what about the words, what about the situation spoke to you as a musician that enabled you to then sit down and create music for this?
Yeah, I think what was most meaningful to me is just how honest and how raw a lot of these comments were. Reasons like giving the name of their child and saying, I kept living because I want to give a better future to my child. Or even one where they were talking about a friend of theirs that ultimately took his life and saying, I wish that he kept living. And so it's not all perfect. It's not all, sunshine. But it's so raw and it's so real. And I think that that's the important thing about what art can be and what it can do, in that it can really speak to the most human, the most deeply held of our emotions, and do so in a way that can connect us with that and help us to also understand that this is something that lots of people deal with. It's not just, people often might think that they're in it alone. But my hope with the piece is that it would spur conversation. It would help people to know they're not alone and give them a reason that they can seek help and they can have community that's there to support them.
Is it fair to say that a social consciousness is very important in any musical project you undertake, anything that you write?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say so. I feel that it's my duty as a composer, as an artist, to speak to our own collective human conditions, and something like that is very much socially conscious, socially minded. So in the case of this piece, it's this topic. There are other works that the choir is doing that speak to other things that we deal with as humans and as Americans and as citizens of the world. So absolutely, I think it's something that really interests me and again helps us to ask big questions, to foster compassion, to understand other people, other cultures, other ideas, and ultimately do so in the safe space of a musical community. But I hope that the piece will maybe challenge the listener to consider a question, to consider a new point of view, to think about the world in a new way, to think about their own ideas or their own experiences in a new way, and hopefully that they will also find it to be beautiful or moving or meaningful.